So remember, they're changing my voice. Also, they're changing my images. I hope you all realize why it's stupid to be like them and why I'm ideal and why I'm not shaped like some kind of Jew, super Jew flexing, but there's a lot more lateral movements in my body. Look carefully at the shoulders. You can see some difference, but they try to confuse it. Okay, this video is about nerds, brutes, pretty boys, the opposition view. Right? It's unwise to uphold the system. It's unwise to be a nerd or a brute. Now we're going to go through some pictures, some cartoons, animus. And the word animation means spirit. We all know people that look like this. We've all come across them. If we don't know them, people that look like that, you say, hey, I don't know. Well, some hackers interfered. You might say, hey, well, I don't know if someone looks like that. What about this female right here? See the semblance, the resemblance there? Okay, why doesn't Dopey speak? Why is he called Dopey in the first place, right? Why is this guy depicted like some kind of dumb brute that lifts weights? And Droopy D like some kind of cop, well, some kind of bored worker or something. And here we have this person called, this cartoon rather, called Little Miss Scatterbrain, right? Scatterbrain as opposed to being focused, okay? Here we have, again, Scatterbrain, and I compare it in this picture to the Hellraisers, right? These evil people, people that look like this, kind of the way they have about their spirit, and there's similarities, look carefully, between being a scatterbrain person, almost like the person has a cold or something, and these images here. Hellraiser, being evil, right? Being unfocused leads to being evil. Being unfocused, in a sense, is evil on the spectrum. Now, this is, I'm just going to give you a few more pictures. This one's key. This one's key here. Let's look at the definitions of nerds, and then we'll go to that Cartoon Network picture with countless nerds. Okay, here we see the top one right here, okay, by the Free Dictionary, okay. We hear slang, foolish, inept. I didn't want to click on it because I get hacked, but basically foolish and inept. I wanted you to notice that. Here we see the Thesaurus Plus, okay. It says a person slavishly devoted to intellectual or academic pursuits. Fool is a synonym, okay, for nerd, right? They're foolish. In Collins Dictionary, okay. Dull, unsophisticated, awkward. Okay, notice they said unsophisticated, and that goes back to, social clubs, rich guys, royals. They try to pretend, hey, we're important, and these guys are nerds. Oh, he's just a nerd. You should come date me instead. Okay, now here, your dictionary, right, a foolish, inept, or an unattractive person. Notice they put unattractive, and that's key here. Is that my fault that they're seen that way, or is it their fault and society's fault? Okay, it's stupid to take it out on me, right? Here we see, what are the differences between nerds, geeks, and dorks? So the nerd goes back to the 1950s. Also originally making fun of a foolish or worthless person. So they're called worthless, foolish, right? Contemptible, unattractive, inept, right? Awkward, socially awkward, right? Instead of romantic. Here we have nerd, and that was dictionary.com. Here we have wordnik, okay? A foolish, inept, or unattractive person, again. Single-minded, okay? So they don't have wisdom. So what is wisdom? Here we go to, I guess it's dictionary.com or something. It's what comes up first quite often. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise, right? The quality of having good judgment, right? The soundness of an action or decision, okay? The soundness of an action decision with regard to the application or experience, knowledge, and good judgment. So if somebody gave you the answer like you're a privileged person, you're handed your life, you say, well, he's wise. No, he just inherited that money. He just used his social club. He used his fraternity, what have you. And here's another one, AH Dictionary, a foolish, inept, or unattractive person again, and it repeats that definition. So the body of knowledge and principles that develops within a specific society or period. Wisdoms, right? So the wisdoms of the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, as opposed to kind of nerd fraternities, social clubs, and royals, whose spirits, animus again means spirit, okay, or soul, for animation, animus, okay. Cartoon, right? Cartoonage was like a mask they wore to bring out their personality, their way about them, their spirit, okay, their soul, their dominant characteristics, their prevailing tendencies, right? Their essence. Okay, so look at these carefully. Weirdos, right? We all know weirdos like this. We know, people from different races that look like this. Okay, now, some are the nicest people out there, so to speak, right? But my point is, it is stupid to pretend that we're all the same and that we're all the same in the eyes of rich, attractive females. It is stupid to pretend that when society elevates these people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and all the rich people, everyone is a billionaire, really, Larry Ellison and so on and so forth, no offense to these people, but it is unfair, okay? Because here we have the Wing Chun dummy, right? dummy, and you see nerd, you see the ball hits him. He doesn't have that life judgment, doesn't have that sense, doesn't have that brain function, brain power. Okay, and then they send people to sabotage who were like nerds and rock and roll nerds and LGBT people here resembling Lucifer. You see that connection there? You see how they're concerned with mind, body, soul, and spirit. Just they want to elevate. And this guy's called Karate Nerd. He resembles the Klan and this, and this. Okay, not saying he's in the Klan, but he resembles them. Okay, and you see how this chick with it, you know, she's kind of a nerd in the military, throwing her satanic symbolism and so on and so forth. Here we have European swordsmanship, right? And they look like nerds. They even depicted Zulu warriors as nerds or some kind of black fraternity looking nerd, right? It is way out of hand here when they downplay the importance of wisdom and threaten people if they don't date nerds, social clubs, fraternities, royals, what have you, corporate scum. Okay? And here we have, you know, geek versus nerd. So I really made it crystal clear that it's insane to not look toward these people first and foremost for mental illness, which includes countless mental health workers themselves. Okay? When they're very, you know, these guys are like an angry, you know, country version of them, right? There's angry country nerds. And then there's the kind of more urban and suburban nerds, right? Rural area nerds, you know, who are angry and racist, right? Pretty straightforward, right? They're socially awkward in their own way, okay? They're foolish and contemptible. They're unattractive. They're inept, right? And people call them inbred and so on and so forth. Pretty straightforward. And here we have these guys over here. They're labeled betas, okay? Betas is beast scrambled. There is no other way to look at it. In fact, martial arts is even a popular martial arts school. I think it has 3 schools in San Jose called Vision Martial Arts. Here you see Tattooed talking about being straightforward and honest through the use of the stick. So you look at the clash here. Now let's look at this real quick and let's wrap it up. No offense to the Asians, whites, so on and so forth. But you see that there's a martial art gap between African martial artists and others, where even we see Jesus depicted as in a way that's similar to an African martial arts with an Asian guy, what looks like an Asian guy from here at least, with a kung fu kind of gi on, okay? In the ancient Egyptian conception of beauty, it's more like me, and you see that it is insane for me to be shunned by women. Even the Matrix, they did martial arts to wake up from the Matrix, the gay tricks, so on and so forth. Okay, and they say, well, what about the military? You see how my point is proven to a T. Angry Republican truck drivers, military people of old, okay? Gay guy doing kung fu, right? It doesn't, you can tell just by looking at this guy real quickly, you would have no chance against me. Okay, why? Because he's more like a nerd. This guy is more like these guys, no offense to the LGBT community, who are more like these guys and these guys, these frat nerd guys. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So when they depict Zeus as some kind of LGBT nerd and Guile as an LGBT nerd, it's open and shut what they're doing here. They're on some slave master, nerd supporting, organized rape by deception bullshit. Not necessarily anyone I've shown you in the pictures in this video. Not necessarily not. Thank you.